Capricorn Zodiac sign. Capricorn Horoscope element: Earth color: brown, black. Quality: cardinal day, Saturday ruler, Saturn. Greatest overall compatibility: Taurus, Cancer. Lucky numbers: 4, 8, 13, 22. Date range: December 22nd to January 19th. Capricorn, December 22nd to January 19th. Capricorn traits. Strengths: responsible, disciplined, self-control, good managers. Weaknesses: know-it-all, unforgiving, condescending, expecting the worst. Capricorn likes: family, tradition, music, understated status, quality craftsmanship. Capricorn dislikes almost everything at some point. Capricorn is a sign that represents time and responsibility, and its representatives are traditional and often very serious by nature. These individuals possess an inner state of independence that enables significant progress both in their personal and professional lives. They are masters of self-control and have the ability to lead the way, make solid and realistic plans, and manage many people who work for them at any time. They will learn from their mistakes and get to the top based solely on their experience and expertise. Belonging to the element of Earth, like Taurus and Virgo, this is the last sign in the trio of practicality and grounding. Not only do they focus on the material world, but they have the ability to use the most out of it. Unfortunately, this element also makes them stiff and sometimes too stubborn to move from one perspective or point in a relationship. They have a hard time accepting differences of other people that are too far from their character, and out of fear might try to impose their traditional values aggressively. Saturn is the ruling planet of Capricorn, and this planet represents restrictions of all kinds. Its influence makes these people practical and responsible, but also cold, distant and unforgiving, prone to the feeling of guilt and turn to the past. They need to learn to forgive in order to make their own life lighter and more positive. Capricorn, the goat of fear. A goat with the tail of a fish is created to face fear and create panic. It is the sign of decisions made to be protected from monsters in our minds, lives, and immediate physical surrounding. Always ready to transform into something that scares those scary things off. Capricorn speaks of each natural chain reaction of fear, where one scary thing leads to many others, rising up as defensive mechanisms that only make things worse. Immersed in their secrecy, they face the world just as they are, brave enough to never run away, but constantly afraid of their inner monsters. Capricorn love and sex. It is not easy to win over the attention and the heart of a Capricorn, but once their walls break and their heart melts, they stay committed for a lifetime. Their relationships with other signs can be challenging due to their difficult character, but any shared feeling that comes from such a deep emotional place is a reward for their partner's efforts. Shown sensitivity comes through acts rather than words, and years are often needed for them to open enough to chat about their actual emotional problems. Turn to their personal goals, whatever they might be. Capricorns can lack compassion and emotion when relating to their loved ones. The certain ease of a normal life is something they will give with full devotion, and their partner will be able to rely on them, use them as a stepping stone for any personal endeavor, and have a lasting bond with a constant tendency of growth. Still, this isn't someone willing to compromise much, and seems to have the need to create a problem only to resolve it or feel bad that it was never resolved before. Capricorn might be a stiff earth sign, set in their way, but this makes them a perfect match for certain signs of the zodiac. And checking them with a below. Capricorn friends and family. Friends. Capricorn is intelligent, stable and reliable, and this makes its representatives loyal and extremely good friends, standing in one's life as pillars on their way to their dreams. They need to be surrounded by people who don't ask too many nosy questions, know where boundaries are set, but also warm, open-hearted and loyal enough to follow their lead. They will not collect too many friends in this lifetime, but turn to those who make them feel at peace, intelligent and honest at all times. Family. This is a sign with full understanding for family traditions. Capricorns feel connected to every single thing from their past and their childhood, and loves bringing out these memories whenever a season of holidays or birthdays is near. This is a sign of a typical conflict. One has overdominance in their household, with their father being an extremely important figure in the way this person built their self-image over the years. As parents, they tend to be strict but fair, readily taking on responsibilities that come with a child. Capricorn career and money. Capricorns will set high standards for themselves, but their honesty, dedication and perseverance will lead them to their goals. They value loyalty and hard work over all other things, and keep associates with these qualities close even when they might be intellectually inferior. Concentrated and resourceful, this is someone who gets the job done, doesn't mind long hours, and commits to the final product completely. They shine in jobs that include management, finance, programming and calculations. Deeply rooted in tradition, the state, and the system they live in, a Capricorn needs all of their paperwork in perfect order, their documents clean, and their file impeccable. Money will be truly valued in lives of these individuals, and they won't have much trouble managing it and saving some for a rainy day, for as long as their debts don't swallow their actual abilities. Hard workers with a higher cause, they will do anything they can to set free from a loan or a mortgage of any time, but also know that true success will only come in the long run. How to attract the Capricorn man. Capricorn men are determined and ambitious people, who want to reach the top to get the rewards. He prefers reality over uncatchable dreams, but isn't afraid to set some of their more realistic dreams in motion. His need for control is strong, and he could be judgmental towards his partners, expecting them to be something they really aren't. His nature is wrapped up around accomplishment and responsibility, and he often doesn't set romantic relationships on the top of his priority list. A Capricorn man wants to take charge and be the one to make the rules from the beginning. He is in search for a practical, grounded partner, and almost always ends up with an emotional one who has a hard time controlling their heart. When starting a relationship, he will think about ways to respect the norm but also show his feelings, expecting the person in front of him to feel comfortable and attractive enough no matter the amount of affection he gives. How to attract the Capricorn woman. Capricorn women are ambitious, persistent, responsible and reliable. She only wants to find someone to make her smile, and can't wait to open up and feel the real pull of emotion that makes her warm up to the possibilities that lie in the future. It will take some time for her to lower her guard and feel safe and comfortable enough to show just how sensitive and caring she can be when she is in love. She wants her partners responsible, calm, and hardworking, and needs to know that she is taken care of if something bad happens in the future. A Capricorn woman needs to feel comfortable with people she dates and needs time to decide what she wants out of each relationship. Born in a sun sign that exalts Mars, her instincts and initiative are strong, and this makes her a passionate lover always in charge of her own life no matter the outer circumstances. Capricorn man in love. When a Capricorn man falls in love, the first thing he will do is start acting strange. He is not familiar with emotion, in general, and he will look at the subject of his desire as an extraterrestrial that came down to Earth only to confuse him. This will pass with the first love, maybe with the second, but there is always that probability that he will look at his loving partner as someone from another world or time. He will have to learn slowly how to act in order to win someone's heart. If he is lucky enough for his first stroke of love to be returned, there is a chance he will remain in the same relationship for a very long time, maybe even for as long as they both shall live. He is one of the most stable, stubborn, deeply emotional signs in the zodiac. He never takes anything lightly, and he refuses to be superficial, which makes his emotions profound and real when they finally surface. Capricorn man's sexuality. There is a paradox in the sign of Capricorn. On one hand, it is a sign of Mars exaltation, and this gives a Capricorn man enough sexuality and stamina to endure in incredibly satisfying sexual relations for a very long time. On the other, Capricorn and its ruler Saturn inhibit every action that has no depth, and he will not be much of a lover unless he builds a true emotional bond first. When he does, that's a different story, but he needs time to understand that what is needed for a great sex life is emotion. Capricorn man in relationships. If you are looking for a man at which you can point your finger and say, "He is difficult," that would be a Capricorn man. He is not easy to be with. As an earth sign, nor is someone whose sun is ruled by Saturn. He can be too strict and his expectations might be impossible to meet. If he doesn't find the true magic of love, he will be possessive but stubborn, without any compromises made or any flexibility. This is exactly why it is so profound and inspiring to win his heart and see him melt, change and open up for things he would never consider before he met you. When he loves someone, there is rarely anything he wouldn't do for his loved one, and it is safe to say that he is prepared to stay with the right partner forever, and never doubt his decision or his emotions. Can you trust your Capricorn man? Without a doubt, but only if he has made a decision to be faithful, honest and monogamous. In any other scenario, everything can be expected and he will act in the way he thinks appropriate. In general, he fears the feeling of guilt, and as far as his awareness goes, he will not hurt, lie or cheat on anyone intentionally. Still, it is a sign ruled by Saturn, the planet of our unconscious, and he sometimes loses control over his choices, not even aware of it. This is the reason why he likes to control every little thing, thinking he can avoid his own irresponsible actions. Dating Capricorn men. A Capricorn man will do everything right. He will take you to the right places, respect you, take you home, pay for your cab and hold your door. The ruler of his sign is exalted in Libra, and he knows that his biggest asset is his ability to be tactful, well-behaved and gallant. He will seem like this strong, incredibly mature man who knows exactly what he wants and isn't afraid to get it. He will love being on a date with someone who admires him, but also keeps a rational distance and remains secretive. Understanding Capricorn men. It is not easy to understand a Capricorn man. He seems to be cold and distant, way too rational and critic, but we rarely stop to realize that he is actually afraid of failure, strict toward himself and always trying to remain in control. He doesn't want to make a mistake, for he understands the consequences of any action better than anyone else. This makes him cautious, careful not to challenge karma and focused on himself and his practical goals that give him the idea he has life under control. He builds walls in order to stay protected, either sabotaged, scolded or even left by his father or other influential role models. When you get to know him and see his soft side behind these walls, you will never want to be without him again. Capricorn man likes and dislikes. He is strong, reliable, confident and sure of his choices, while at the same time practical and focused on his goals, with a perfect plan for the future. On the downside, he can be demanding, cold and distant, uncompassionate and strict, with expectations that make everyone around him feel guilty or inadequate. How to choose a gift for your Capricorn man. Always respect special occasions and be as practical as you can. He can surprise by his openness for all sorts of weird things, but before you get to know him, it is best to stick to the traditional, historical, educational, useful gifts that can last for a very long time. He has an understanding for art with a lot of detail, small but expensive signs of affection, and likes things neat and to the point. Choose a present that makes sense. That's probably the best way to put it. The history of Capricorn. The sign of Capricorn is not the same thing as the constellation Capricornus. They do not coincide, and all of the stars from the constellation Capricornus are currently in the sign of Aquarius. The sign of Capricorn takes the 10th 30 degrees of the zodiacal circle, and begins with the first day of winter. This is a cardinal sign, meaning it marks the beginning of the season and the change it brings with it. The constellation Capricornus marked the winter solstice in the early Bronze Age, for the sun was in it when winter began until 130 BC. The name of this constellation is Latin for horned goat or goat horn, and it is depicted as a sea goat, a mythical creature that is half goat, half fish, bringing our attention to its tail with the brightest star in the constellation in it. The tail itself symbolically represents the past, our debts and what we are dragging from our past. The constellation is the smallest of all zodiacal constellations, and it is set in the area of the sky called Sea, that consists of many water-related constellations such as Pisces and Eridanus.